Here we have a division problem that involves radicals. So one of the rules I have is I cannot have a radical in the denominator. That's called rationalizing my fraction to get rid of that square root. So before I do, I want to make sure I don't have any hidden perfect squares in either radical. Well, I know I do with 12. So that's the same as 3 times the square root of 4 times 3. And I don't have anything for the square root of 15, so I'm going to leave that, just the square root of 15. Square root of 4 is 2. So that leaves me with 6 square root of 3 all over square root of 15. Well, that didn't help me too much with the denominator, but at least it helped me not to have such a big number under my radical in the numerator. So I know I want to get rid of that square root of 15. In order for me to do that, I have to multiply the square root of 15 by itself, because I want to have an equivalent fraction. Both my numerator and my denominator have to be exactly the same, because this is the same thing as 1. Square root of 15 divided by the square root of 15 is 1. Now you may be wondering, why did I pick the square root of 15? Square root of 15 times the square root of 15 equals the square root of 225, and the square root of 225 is 15. So anytime I multiply a square root by itself, it gets rid of the radical. So that leaves me with 6 square root of 3 times the square root of 15 all over 15. Which is the same as, I could multiply those together, and I've done that before, but this time I don't want to, because I don't want to have to do all this multiplication. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to factor that 15. So 15 is the same as 3 times 5, isn't it? 3 times 5, that was my 15. Now with my radical, it's a square root, so there's a 2 there. That 2 is saying, look for 2 that are the same. 2 factors that are the same. And it comes out of the radical as just one of them. Which means that this is the same as 6 times 3 square root of 5 over 15. Now I always say simplify before multiply, and that's what I've been doing all the way through. So before I multiply 6 times 3, I note that 3 is a factor of 15. 3 goes into 3 one time, so that leaves me with 1. 3 goes into 15 5 times. So that leaves me with 6 square root of 5 divided by 5. I can't simplify it anymore, so I'm done.